I'm gonna move on from this for now and talk about the second tenet of the game, which is minigames, which we kind of talk about it with PvP since that's a part of it, but I more so want to talk about how online play is going to work. Because it says that, of course, the default adventure mode will be co-op. So my guess about how something like that will work is it'll be a lot easier to do something multiplayer than something like Minecraft. You'll probably be able to start a world and then open it up for friends, for example. Like I bet there'll be like a friends list in game, and you can probably add friends to it and then invite them straight from in the game, so it'll be a lot simpler.
Yes.
But
which will be really good too, because it's much better whenever games have those sort of in-system kind of deals. Because this is an issue I actually have with Rocket League, because I have Rocket League on my Switch. Let's say Jonathan's on his computer, we can't play Rocket League because he's on his computer, I'm on my Switch. Granted, like that's a minor thing, just switching platforms, but it's still like an inconvenience.
Yeah, it's good to make it easy for people to join, you know, as easy as possible. Mm-hmm. And that's something Minecraft was like. Minecraft didn't exactly get right the first time because it was sort of Java, yeah. It was really early on. They were like testing things out, and you had to kind of make your own servers. And I figured it out, but it's still confusing. This should be a lot easier. But one thing I want to add on is that in this game there will be official servers that are going to be added. Like everyone will have access to it right away. If you go to a multiplayer tab, they will be there. Probably something brilliant, something like the Hypixel server. And I see this as pretty interesting because the Hypixel server is already huge on Minecraft, but you have to like look it up and add it manually to be able to join it. But it's still giant even so.
Yes.
I'm wondering how big, like if you have a huge game like this and only like 1 or 2 official servers, I wonder how big they will be. And there will probably always be people in there playing in whatever games are there. So if you want to do anything, there will always be someone playing it if they're so big.
Exactly.
So
and
yeah, I want to know what do you think about the multiplayer? Like, what do you want from it, Tristan?
Well, for one thing, I like how well essentially. So let's first start like on the preliminary standpoint.
Yeah.
I really like how they've taken a very strong approach towards making it more accessible than it would be generally speaking. They're taking a sort of MMO RPG approach to this, where like there's going to be those basic servers, and then on top of that you'll have like the custom servers. So sort of like how like WoW has like their main current WoW servers, and then God rest their souls, but the vanilla WoW servers. You know,
rip.
Originally that's what existed for some time. I don't know the time frame of that, but the advent of that is really good because it shows that their focus is like on their multiplayer play. And that means they're taking into consideration this kind of deals. So that means we can expect to see a lot of the stuff they originally had, like on, for example, their Hypixel server. We could see that on probably multiple servers based on regions. So like a US server, EU server, an Australian server, those kind of deals.
Yeah.
So that's good.
And interestingly,
even more so.
Oh, sorry, continue.
Yes, even more so, I like how the fact that Hypixel minigames are going to be available immediately. And it's also important to realize too that like getting access to Minecraft servers isn't bad. And it's honestly wonderful considering how you're able to get thousands of hours of different types of gameplay off of a single purchase.
Yeah.
Because of the minigame set. Regardless, especially considering how they're going to focus more on the adventure focus here, we're probably going to expect to see many different types of like mini games here. Like, what's to say that we like don't see a true return to clans again or factions,
faction
survival, yeah. Because especially considering how it's actually going to be much more difficult, or how combat will be much more nuanced, it's going to be very interesting to see what they might do with faction team development, that kind of deal.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing I'm most excited for in this case.
Yeah, I want to pull up sort of a consistent theme that's been going on with Hytale. For like the mini games and the online servers and stuff like that, like of course you can make your own servers. Like it's not only the official servers that'll be there. There'll be random people making big servers too with their own unique things that they coded in, and we can make our own servers with our own mini games and things. But the flexibility that seems to be in this system and the potential for creative mini games and stuff like that seem to be even higher for something like Minecraft. Because this game, like Minecraft has set things that you can't really change, like the camera. You can't really move that around much. Like the game's assets and mechanics and stuff like that are basically the same all the time. Not really flexible in Minecraft, and you just have to fit within those limitations.
Yeah.
In this game, it looks like you'll be able to control way more things when you make your minigames, or any sort of game mode. For example, faction survival that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
They could make a way to like zoom out and see the area from above and see like which factions own which swabs of land and have them color coded and that type of thing. Maybe you can start like initiate a war of another faction where you kill the other faction and then you start gaining territory. Something like that could be made.
Yeah, there's a lot more creativity that lends to this too. And it's not like certain Minecraft servers don't already have access to these kind of things. Where like, say for example, whenever someone creates a faction server that like you aren't able to like negotiate like a piece of terms of treaty, or like a piece of some sort of thing like that,
Yeah.
Or like you're able to just kind of be like, hey, so this is like kind of like what I'm doing right here, and this is it,
Yeah, this is it.
Well, mainly speaking, because like that was very unclear. But essentially, the idea that you're able to sort of like declare certain peace treaties and all that, and this is like where I think like factions, I think will be like one of the main sort of like paradigms of the game itself, because it's going to like focus very much on the adventure aspect, but it'll also focus very much on like the own player competition aspect. Like, say for example, and this is a possible game mode that they could do from that. First one to attack this boss wins.
Yeah.
Let's say it's like a second or third tier boss. So you kill the first boss, then you kill the second boss.
Yeah.
But let's say your team missed out on killing the first boss, and now it's time for the second boss. You can just attack the other team, raid their stuff, prevent them from getting their equipment to a certain level, and then take their equipment and then beat the second boss and win the game.
Mm-hmm.
It leads for a lot of very interesting MMORPG type situations to occur because of what factions may or may not be.
Yeah. And just like looking at the amount of customization, like camera position, game assets, mechanics, like you can change everything. Like one example they gave in the trailer, I believe, was a sort of top-down shooter type thing that they made within the game's engine. Like you don't need mods or anything for that. Like it's that customizable.
Yeah.
So like my mind is just running with all the different potential ideas that I'm sure a lot of server owners and coders and stuff are going to throw in. And I'm pretty excited about all that type of stuff because since the game has more creative options than something like Minecraft, you can be more flexible with what you add into it, which will be interesting. And at least that means that there will be new things rather than just the same stuff that was in Minecraft before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, once again, and that's where I feel like this is going to be something different than Minecraft, just entirely. And not that it's going to be better or worse, but it's just going to be simply different. In that there's going to be many more options, but these options may be just as underdeveloped as Minecraft was whenever it was first released.
Yeah.
Granted, it looks like it's going to start on a much stronger footing than like a Minecraft did, than Minecraft did with its original dev stage in beta 1.1 alpha 1. Whichever alpha was to start, alpha 1.0, because it's going to look a lot more developed, but it doesn't change the fact that it's still going to be, in my opinion, and probably for a lot of people, like a better experience because it is more streamlined.
Yeah. It seems like it'll be a lot clearer in understanding what you're supposed to do and how to do it, rather than Minecraft, where like when you started out, you had to figure everything out from scratch, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Because there are certain communities of Minecraft that also benefit off of Minecraft's original design and like what it offers. Like, say for example, like the 2B2T server, like that really really old, crazy wild like hacker-filled server that only exists in Minecraft and only works in Minecraft because it's a relic based on that time. So like something like that, I'm not sure would function as well, just because of the freedom that 2B2T allowed those people.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to push forward a little bit more to the creativity part of the game, because of course Minecraft is known for not only being a survival game, but also a creative game. It has things like redstone, it has all sorts of blocks that you can build your castle out of. You can just play in creative mode and mess around and make stupid things, or you can make giant maps and texture packs and mods and all sorts of stuff. So it looks like Hytale is going to continue that sort of trend, but try and push it even further, if that makes any sense, because they're adding a lot of tools for creators to use to make all sorts of new creations. And I'm hoping that'll build a pretty nice community, similar to how Minecraft had a great one with Minecraft forums, Minecraft, Planet Minecraft, and stuff like that. But just some examples of creative tools are like, you can have live scripting in game where you'd like change sort of how the game even works while you're in it. You can move the camera around however you want and film movies and stuff like that, which will be really good for machinima makers and things like that.
Yes.
You can copy and paste templates into the game of different structures, so that'll be really nice for map makers and that type of thing. It's sort of like MC Edit, but within the game itself. And it'll ship with even its own like model maker, where you can make your own game models and insert your own creatures and do all sorts of stuff. So it seems like it's trying to pull way more creative options than were available before in like older games. And I'm interested to see where that type of thing goes. So do you expect the community to be as large for something like this that it was for Minecraft, like in terms of the number of creations and stuff?
I see creativity in a different light, especially in this game. Mainly in that it doesn't look like a lot of the technical things that made vanilla Minecraft as like what it is are going to be as prevalent yet. That may change, but it looks like they're taking the much more like adventure-y like focusing on the tale in Hytale in this, where it's like it's much more like Dungeons and Dragons kind of deal in a very literal sense.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of tools though if you want to do
there
something
there are going to be a lot of tools. It just, I feel like it's not going to be as like quote unquote like technologically technical, or maybe like magically technical.
Yeah, and I do think it'll take a little while for people to figure out like how all the mechanics work and how everything fits together, because when Minecraft was started, people didn't really know how to make like all these maps, and people were just like improvising. And it took many years for people to understand the underlying mechanics of the game and be able to create things that mold around them. And as they say, like, limitations mold creativity. And this game seems to have fewer limitations, so you have to question whether or not people are going to find all the little ideas and details and all of these mechanics and try to make maps that fit around them. But
exactly,
I think after a little while, like maybe a couple of weeks or maybe a couple months, people will start getting a grasp on which mechanics are the most fun, how to make good maps, and I feel like there will still be the same sort of custom map community that there is in something like Minecraft.
Oh yes, no, I don't doubt that. I'm just talking about more from a specific standpoint of like what the game offers.
Yeah, what the main focus is on. Yeah,
and like the powers of the engine, all that kind of stuff.
It definitely looks like it's focusing.
In the future, but
yeah, it definitely looks like they're focusing on the adventure to start out and trying to get people just to play through like the world. And so, because that's what people are going to play first when they open the game, so they want to make sure it makes a good impression.
Yes, obviously.
Okay, have you taken a look at the AI UI section of the page, Tristan?
Yeah.
If you go to the blog, yeah, there's a UI section. So I've been
pull it up.
I've been taking a brief look through it, and I'm trying to like interpret it a little bit, and it does look like you'll have your username, you have a little profile picture, and you have a friends list. So it looks like this game is going to have like its own in-game community. But it also has the 3 tenets I was talking about, like adventure, minigames. Actually, no, it has adventure, minigames, and servers, and then my avatar and settings. So from what I see, it looks like they're going to make it really easy to swap between the different types of game modes, like on an instant. So you could be playing basically your single-player world on adventure, and immediately swap to a server to play a mini. Actually, what I'm curious about is, do you think that the minigames tab will show a list of minigames, and you can just join one instantly from there without having to enter a server?
I believe that's very possible, especially in this case.
That's interesting.
I mean, like, once again, this is a much more, in my opinion, this is a much more streamlined version of what Minecraft is. So they're taking exactly what makes it good and then just focusing it really, really, really well.
Yeah.
And I think they've done a really good job, especially in this case.
I think it'd be interesting if there was like a party system where you could say like because you can see the message like notification thing at the top right. I'd assume that's to like send messages and invites to friends. So I think it'd be interesting if you could invite all your friends to a party or something like that, or to your server or to your world that you're adventuring on, and then if you click on to join a minigame, it'll automatically put all of you in the same game right from there without having to find like a random server to find a minigame on. It'll have like a list of official ones that you can just join right away, and that would make things way more convenient.
Yes, I mean, hopefully that concept is maintained.
Yeah,
and I think that's like an important thing that they definitely should at least try to replicate.
Yeah,
because it's very common. I mean, like once again, it's very common. Say for example, like an Xbox, PS4 type in those type of games. Let's say if you're playing Little Big Planet with like a friend, but it's not something that was there in Minecraft mainly because the way Minecraft developed wasn't anything I don't think that the developers thought it would do.
Yeah. They never expected it to grow that large, and that's the thing. I think Hytale or Hypixel Studios is developing it know that this game is going to be held to a really high standard. Because like Minecraft is already made and is already popular, and there's a lot of people who are thinking it'll be the Minecraft killer, which I don't think they want it to be particularly, because I'm sure they like Minecraft too. But they know that people are going to be comparing them back and forth and trying to decide which is better, and if this one isn't as good, like people are just going to not play it versus Minecraft. So they're trying to streamline as many things as possible to make it a more straightforward, fun experience, I'm thinking, rather than the Minecraft spread out servers and stuff like that you have to navigate and find online and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I agree with that.
So basically, I want to look at the crafting system. So we know Minecraft when we first started out Minecraft many years ago. The crafting, we just saw that grid, right? We didn't know what was going on. We didn't know how to use it. We didn't know how to make anything. And I personally don't think that that's a viable system for a game now. But it looks like they're kind of shifting away from that in order to have like a more streamlined system where you know what you need to make everything. So
yeah,
what are your thoughts on this type of crafting system versus Minecraft's?
Once again, this is in direct comparison to what Minecraft was and now a more refined version. So the fact that, say for example, you're able to just sort of craft the item immediately, in my opinion, takes out a lot of like the hullabaloo when it comes to like, oh yeah, I have to put the stone in this order and then the sticks in this order. Now I have a stone pickaxe. Mm-hmm. I think that this especially focuses now more on making the enchanting a bit more technical, and also making the general weapon build to be much more technical as well. So by removing that like kind of junk that comes along with, like, say for example, crafting an item, now you're just straight up like making the item and then you're modifying it, and then that's where the technicality comes in. Mm-hmm. And I like the process of like that thought. I like that sort of thought process.
Yeah. It looks like it's a more interesting, like personalized crafting system. Like rather than just having one thing you can make, like you set it up in a crafting grid, you can only make that one item. It looks like there'll be many options for the type of weapons you want to use, and they'll probably have their own like benefits, advantages, and disadvantages for each of them, depending on what your playstyle is, which seems way more interesting for combat and that type of stuff than Minecraft. Just make a diamond sword and that's it. You know?
Exactly.
Plus it reminds me a lot of Terraria in that it looks like there will be different types of the same weapons that will have like different modifiers and different abilities and specials and stuff. Because if you look at the bottom screenshot here,
yes, it
has like 4 different types of 3 weapons in one armor set. And there's like a fire sword where enemies have a chance to be set on fire. Has a demonic axe that does some soul steal that heals you probably. Or no, it says some of the damage you deal is reflected, so increases your damage for a limited time and then makes you take some damage, so it's demonic. There's a twerk sword, which is like a basic sword. There's a chest plate. So it looks like there'll be different modifiers for different items. And I'd assume some of them can be like rare loot and things in dungeons that are spawning throughout the world. Which I think is interesting. And better than just the default stuff in Minecraft. Yeah,
it's gonna be really good in my opinion. And without a shadow of a doubt, it's going to make the game generally a lot better.
Yeah.
But, like from a strictly objective standpoint.
Okay. So, one more big thing I want to mention is the creatures in the world. Just real quick. I don't think we have to go too in depth about this.
Yeah.
Oh,
because we're gonna get more eventually, anyways.
Yeah, it might be a good idea to mention it though. Hytale looks like it's going to have a lot of NPCs, which once again I'm going to make a lot of comparisons to Minecraft here, because Minecraft doesn't have many creatures, I have to say. At least not many interesting creatures. The only NPC that's really in Minecraft that you can interact with is villagers, and they are going to get an update coming up that makes them a little bit more interesting to talk to, but even so, they're still not that exciting, yeah. But in Hytale, like even the first type of creature they talk about, which is the Quebecs, like just a description of them, which I can go ahead and say real quick. They say the Quebecs are sort of like a plant creature that live in a society. They live in trees and stuff like that. And as they age, they grow slower and slower until they stop moving completely, release a burst of energy, and become basically like the trees that they look like. And then whenever they adopt that form, their seeds fall to the ground and form a new generation. And the young Quebecs don't meet their parents since they become still basically like trees, but they learn about their history from tree singers, which are elders that tend to the young seedlings. So just like this basic description shows that they're putting a lot of depth into these sort of NPC civilizations, and I'm interested to see how interactable they are and how important they are in the story, because this is just one civilization. I'm sure there's tons of different species that you'll find, some friendly, some enemies like the Chorks, which are basically troll orcs that have many different types and are probably very dangerous. So
yeah,
what are your thoughts on the types of wildlife and NPCs and stuff that they're having here?
Personally, when it comes to wildlife and NPCs, once again, the focus mainly is on the adventure mode vanilla aspect of this.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have no matter what, they're going to be better, like objectively when it comes to Minecraft, because Minecraft, like for example, what you just read was an entire the entire reason a species exists, right?
Yeah.
And like essentially an entire background. What's a villager?
Useless. Boring.
Well, I mean, to a certain extent, like literally all it is just like a skin-colored Squidward.
Villagers or NPCs in Minecraft are basically tools. Like you almost don't even see them as people because you don't care about them. Like they barely interact with you. Like all you do is buy stuff off them, so you keep them alive in like holes so you can buy stuff.
Exactly. There's no other use for it, and they don't offer much to your experience outside of like, oh, okay, so I can trade my stone into this, and then boom, now I have emeralds. Now I turn my emeralds back into this, and now I have this book of enchant.
Yeah, one thing
which is fine, but it doesn't change the fact that like it could be better.
One thing I'm hoping that they like achieve here, and I think they might be trying to, is creating NPCs that you'll care about.
Yes.
Ones that you like don't just ignore and just think of as a tool, but ones that you'll want to learn more about them and maybe take care of them. Maybe you'll see one lost and maybe bring it to your house and keep it safe, stuff like that, rather than just keeping them in a cage for selling stuff,
Waifus confirmed for Minecraft 2.
You know what? If they add waifus to the game, that'll make it top tier.
Waifus confirmed for Minecraft 2, boys.
I don't know, this chieftain twerk looks pretty waifu-ish to me. Look at that red hair.
Yeah, you're right.
Must be a tsundere.
Right. Well, but yes, like the point is incredibly valid. Mainly just like, especially from the standpoint of like having the ability to do things like that. I think that if they're able to at least make a race, like doesn't matter or not whether or not it's a waifu, but like a race that like has its own story. Because once again, each adventure is different.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Yeah. Now, so that means that it should be safe to assume, especially in this case, that these beings, whatever whenever they're included in the game, are going to have meaning, are going to have purpose, and like are going to be worth talking about. Hopefully.
Yeah, and even like it looks like they're just trying to put more depth into most things. Like even the wild creatures, like chickens and antelopes and saber-toothed tigers and stuff like that. Like, not only are you going to be able to hunt them down like you can in Minecraft, but they'll interact with each other too. Like saber-toothed tigers, like from the screenshots, it looks like they'll be sort of crawling through underbrush until they pounce on the antelopes to hunt them in packs, you know. And chickens, for example, will be a lot more willing to lay eggs whenever they're in a coop and whenever you take care of them and are friendly to them. Otherwise, they'll be defensive and won't let you take them if they can.
As opposed to like
Minecraft.
Chickens in Minecraft, which I mean, once again, not bad.
Yeah.
Well, we're not trying to dog Minecraft.
It's much more simple in Minecraft. Like, you have a farm and you have 100 eggs instantly.
Yeah, exactly. Like you literally just like the thing is in Minecraft, like you have chicken generators. You chuck them into this 1x1 space, and then like spam eggs into it, and then next thing you know, right in your hopper in your chest, you have like a full stack of eggs.
Yeah.
Like, not that it's bad, because it works great for what it is, because Minecraft's all about that sort of the whole idea of automation. But if you want to be able to just respect them a bit more, they don't offer anything if you try to do that. Like, you don't gain anything by treating your chickens with respect.
Yeah.
This, you will.
It's just continuing sort of a theme I've been seeing where it takes like something in Minecraft and adds some more depth to it, you know? Makes it a bit more realistic. And
yeah.
It reminds me of Stardew Valley even a little bit, where you have to like make sure that your farm animals are happy in order to get the resources off of them. And I think it will probably work better in a game like this, because I'm not digging on Minecraft or anything like that. Like, the way Minecraft's mechanics works for that game. People want those eggs to make automatic farms or things like that. But in something like Hytale, it looks like there'll be a lot more of a focus on personal connection and actually working in the field and feeling a bit more alive and more realistic and more grounded. And with these types of mechanics, like if they can pull off a lot of these realistic animal interactions and NPCs and all that stuff, it'll be a lot more of an immersive adventure experience than Minecraft does. Like in Minecraft, you feel like you're lonely in the world and you're the only thing that has any sentience. But
yes,
from what they're doing in Hytale, it looks like all the creatures will feel a lot more like they're actually alive and thinking and reacting to things.
Yes, which is an important feeling, or it's a hard feeling to replicate, but an important feeling to replicate as well.
Yeah. Do you have a phone call to pick up, by the way?
No, I do not. That is a fake phone call.
Ah.